Police say they saw Daniels first touching customers as she performed, partly naked, and police say she then touched those 3 undercover officers. Ohio law states nude or semi-nude strippers are not allowed to touch customers. We talked with a man who says he was here and saw it happen.
She wasn't doing anything that other people weren't doing, and she actually was doing a lot less.
Stormy Daniels said nothing as we tried to talk to her when police brought her to jail. Her attorney calls the charges bogus.
Stormy Daniels causes a storm.
I think this is ridiculous.
But now the storm blows over.
An absurd use of law enforcement.
Her siren song in Columbus.
I saw less of her live than all the other girls there.
Puts her on a racy roller coaster.
She wasn't doing anything that other people weren't doing.
Is it a legit sting?
This happens all the time here in Columbus.
Or a lewd setup?
You're the deputy city attorney and you can't tell me what's going on?
We'll bear the facts.
I mean, I need some answers.
About Ohio law.
Any comment about what happened tonight?
A storm of questions and no answers. Our cameras were rolling as Stephanie Clifford, popularly known as Stormy Daniels, was brought to the Franklin County Jail in handcuffs. Police say as part of a long-term investigation into allegations of human trafficking, prostitution, and other vice-related violations, 3 women were arrested at Sirens, including Daniels.
The motorboating, the dancing, all of that goes on at all the clubs. And no one gets arrested, no one gets in trouble.
Chuck Pennington of Columbus shows us a photo he got with Daniels at the Sirens VIP meet and greet.
I just told her that I'd seen her on TV and thought she was very well spoken, and nothing scares a straight man more than a smart woman. And she just smiled, and I asked her if you really need to write a book, and she just kind of winked at me and smiled.
This is exclusive video of Daniels after she was bailed out of jail. She sped off in a car with 3 men. Police say they saw Daniels first touching customers as she performed partly naked.
The law's the law. I mean, if she touched somebody, she should be arrested.
Then police say Daniels touched 3 undercover officers. Ohio law says nude or semi-nude strippers aren't allowed to touch customers.
She could have had a target on her back. It could have been publicity stunt on her part. Who knows?
What do you think that the city is dismissing the charges?
Why? Politics. It's always about politics. More money.
Stormy Daniels' attorney calls this incident, quote, ridiculous and a complete waste of police resources. Daniels was in town for a 2-night appearance at Sirens in Northeast Columbus. She's accused President Trump and his attorney of paying her for her silence before the 2016 election. Now, Columbus police have accused Daniels of breaking the law by making physical contact with patrons who were really undercover Columbus police officers. Police locked the adult film star up on 3 counts of illegal sexually oriented activity.
It didn't make any sense to me.
Chuck Pennington had a meet and greet with Daniels following her first performance on stage. He says he was baffled when he learned she was arrested shortly after this photo was taken.
I couldn't imagine what she could possibly be arrested for, because it's typical in those places that they rub up against you, but you can't touch them.
Daniels' attorney, Michael Avenatti, told 10 TV via telephone he believes the arrest was politically motivated.
I can't imagine that there's nothing better that law enforcement has to do there than stake out a strip club and check to see if patrons are touching Stormy Daniels.
The law they cited is called the Community Defense Act, which prohibits dancers from touching patrons. The police report states Daniels put both her hands on the officer's buttocks and also touched the officers with her bare breasts. The law states, quote, no employee who regularly appears nude or semi-nude on the premise of a sexually oriented business shall knowingly touch a patron. Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, has been traveling the country performing at strip clubs after she gained international attention for her claim she had an affair with Donald Trump and that his personal attorney paid her to keep quiet. But because Daniels does not regularly perform at Sirens, the city attorney dropped the charges. 10 Investigates has found Sirens was not the only target of a police sting operation to crack down on alleged illegal activity. According to a 10 Investigates review of court records, the law has been cited against women at Cahoots 22 times in 2018. People working at both locations declined to comment.
When strip clubs cause harm to communities, cause harm to men, women, and families.
Aaron Baer is with the Citizens for Community Values, a conservative group that pushed for the law's passage in 2007. 10 Investigates found the law has been used 88 times in Franklin County since 2007. 25 of those charges have come in 2018. But court records do not show anyone who has been convicted of that charge this year.
I think it's a hard case to argue that this law is not needed. Columbus police should be praised for the fact that they are enforcing this law so strongly in 2018. This is something that should have been going on since day one.
Now, dozens were inside that strip club last night when undercover Vice officers arrested Stormy Daniels. Investigator Tom Soucy spoke with one of those patrons.
That's right, Colleen. He called it good, clean adult fun and says no one at last night's show should have been arrested.
I mean, I didn't see anything untoward going on. People were buying drinks. People were enjoying the dancers. They were there to make a living, and the guys were there to pay for it.
Chuck Pennington figures police quietly arrested Stormy Daniels backstage after her first appearance around midnight.
And I waited because I thought she would come out and do another set at 1 o'clock. And then as it got later and later and she wasn't coming out, I asked around, and then I found out she wasn't going to be coming out.
Pennington says he purchased the Stormy Daniels VIP package. He guesses between 50 and 60 people caught the show.
$75 for the meet and greet, and then $40 for a photo and an autograph picture.
Here's that picture. Pennington says he posed with Daniels before police snapped this picture of the porn star.
I think it makes a good headline, especially when it says Stormy Daniels, sex act on stage, arrested, whatever. It leads people to believe something was going on that wasn't.
Now, a few hours ago, I checked with the Ohio Investigative Unit. That's the agency that investigates complaints against adult clubs. Not a lot on record. In 2014, they charged Sirens with improper conduct, that's nudity, and illegal alcohol sales. Local for you, I'm NBC4 investigator Tom Soucy.
We talked with some of the customers who went to the show last night at Sirens, Chuck Pennington among them. He tells us that he even had his picture taken with Daniels. He wanted to meet her because he says she speaks her mind and is courageous.
I went there specifically to see her because I'd seen her on The View, and I saw her interview with Anderson Cooper, and I thought she was very well spoken and intelligent and not what the stereotype is of an adult performer.
Well, some customers tell us they think that Daniels was targeted because of her very public battle with President Trump. We're told that she'd had a voter registration table also set up at the club last night.
Less than 24 hours after Stormy Daniels was arrested at a local strip club, she's about to get back on stage. Good evening, everyone. I'm Colleen Marshall.
I'm Mike Jackson. Daniels is set to perform at Vanity Gentlemen's Club at any minute. Daniels was arrested at Sirens for allegedly allowing patrons to touch her during a performance, which is against state law. Daniels was charged and booked, but within hours, those charges were dismissed. Daniels then announced she plans to perform again tonight.
NBC4's Tyler Beckham is live tonight at Vanity Gentlemen's Club, where Daniels is about to hit the stage.
Guys, not quite as packed as we expected, given all the attention, but we've seen some pickup in that. You can see folks are dropping people off the parking lot. Not super crowded yet. One gentleman out front, he's not a protester, he's a fan, he says. He's got a sign that says Stormy 2020. And lots of media, folks scrambling to get that shot of Stormy. Workers inside scrambling to get ready for this last-minute performance earlier today as well. This is the stage Stormy Daniels will perform on in Northwest Columbus, nearly 24 hours after her arrest at an adult club in North Columbus on charges that were subsequently dropped.
It literally was a last-minute decision, and we're putting it all together.
Vanity Gentlemen's Club manager Abe Amira led NBC4 inside as workers made final preparations for her $25 a ticket performance, unplanned until Daniels' attorney, Michael Avenatti, sent out a series of tweets, initially tweeting that his client, quote, refuses to be intimidated and, quote, will return to the scene of the no crime tonight in Columbus as scheduled, followed by this one, with Avenatti stating, quote, change of plans. Stormy Daniels wouldn't be performing at Sirens, but is looking for another club in the area. That's when Amira stepped in.
We saw it on the news, and we reached out to her agent that reached out to Stormy, and that's how it all came together.
Amira is confident there is enough interest in Daniels.
She wants to keep her fan base happy. She's had a lot of support, a lot of a lot of her fans wanted to see her show.
And that the show will not be a repeat performance of the night before.
I think the biggest problem was she didn't know what the laws were. So we'll go over the laws with her very clearly so she knows exactly what the definitions are, and we'll work with her. And we expect a very good night.
And Abe, the gentleman you just saw, I just spoke with him. He said he's been getting text that Stormy is somewhere on Bethel Road. And take a look here. You can see the tour van pulling up. So certainly she's not afraid of the publicity here. If, in fact, she is in that van, we believe that she is. She is supposed to take the stage here at 11 o'clock. Tickets $25. And again, people are starting to kind of flow in, so a decent crowd inside. We will stick around here and show you video of the big entrance tomorrow morning on NBC4 Today. For now, local for you in Northwest Columbus, Tyler Beckham, NBC4.
Thank you so much, Tyler. The two other performers who were arrested at that club last night, Miranda Glass and Marion and Brittany Walters of Pickerington. They're charged with illegally sexually oriented activity in a sexually oriented business. The city attorney's office says it's reviewing the facts surrounding those cases. Daniels says she'll donate the tip money that she makes at tonight's performance to the defense fund for those two women.
Now, the law says no employee who regularly appears nude or semi-nude can touch the customers at a sexually oriented business. City Attorney Zach Klein says the charges against Daniels were dropped because she's not a regular at that club. After the charges were dropped, Columbus Police Chief Kim Jacobs says an element of the law was missed by officers and that she accepts full responsibility, adding, while the presence of vice officers at this establishment is reasonable, the motivations behind the officers' actions will be reviewed internally to ensure that our core values and duty to serve our community to the best of our ability continues to be the basis for our actions.